far, we have just posted, or we will be posting, that we have 82 of our sites that have already closed successfully, and we've transmitted their results. So our numbers are going up, which is exactly what we want. We still have, I think, like the last time I looked at it, we maybe have 52 sites that the officials are still at. Remember, we talked about how long that tape is, and that's what's taking so much time. But they're going to the RSS sites. They're being absolutely, the crews we have at those sites are wonderful. But as I talked to y'all before, we have to absolutely balance. So it's not as simple as knocking on the door and handing your stuff in. They have to go through our chain of custody. They have to go through our audit before anything is transmitted down here. And that's what we're seeing right now. So again, the teams that are at the RSS sites they're amazing. They are absolutely amazing. And you can imagine, some of those judges are exhausted. It's been a long day for them. But again, please understand that we check everything. They're checking the number of signatures they have. They're checking a number against the votes that are on that tape. And they're sitting there for a minute till it's transmitted. They do not leave the property where we are until we have a successful number that comes through that we have, and that's how we keep going with the messages that we're putting out. So when I came out here, we had already spent 82 of those up, and really, really proud. So I hope you all just, like I said, please just say thank you to the officials. They did a fantastic job, and it was a difficult job. We had some real enthusiastic poll watchers. We had, some anxious voters that were concerned with people coming up to their cars as they were doing curbside voting. We have a real high rate of curbside voting. That's what we do best, taking care of our voters. Curbside is for anyone who feels that they can't wait in line or they can't walk inside. And our judges take everything out to them, and they vote in the comfort of their home. But it does obviously take longer because the transition, because checking their ID inside, taking it, going back and forth. But again, please understand how hard those judges worked. They did a great job. I really can't say that enough. How can I help you?
So, the final numbers on the final numbers on the turnout today?
We won't have that for a while. Like I said, we've got 82 of 302 right now, and election day that we're showing right now is 37,224. That's how many votes that we've actually had into our system. So that number obviously will increase by the voters. It will increase as the sites come in, and we'll try and keep you up to date as fast as we can.
Do we know how many polling sites might still have people casting ballots, or have all those ended and it's just about the process of going through the ballot?
They've all closed. They've all closed. And again, the judges just have a lot of work to do when they finish.
When you talk about the checks and balances, and making sure that they have everything, all their ducks in a row, what's the difference between that and then when they transmit? What is transmitting? Is that when it gets to one of the 5 sending locations?
Once they get the good seal of approval, when they go to our RSS, our regional sending site, that's where they have to appear. That's where they're signing over everything to us. That's where we start our checks and balances, JP. That's where we literally look at the number of signatures they have when they're out there. They look at the number that's on the tape, the results. And if they had 100 people show up, we need to see that the rate is 100 people on the tape, that's how many people voted. Remember, I've told you the two systems don't talk to each other. But we have to track to make sure that they're in sync. I guess that's the word. And it takes a while because our auditors will stay there and match every number. And I will tell you, occasionally they're off by 1 or 2 or 3, because again, we had a few people, I don't know the amount, but we had a few people that when they left the poll site, they did not cast their vote. They thought it was a receipt and they took it home. And once that happens, they cannot bring it back in. So those few sites are going to have a difference. You know, like I said, if they had 100, but the DS200 only says 98, then that judge is going to sign to tell us what happened, why it's different. We don't just accept everything and anything.
Jackie, how late are we going to be here?
As you hear me say, we'd love for it to say November 5th. But I know we have, I'd say there's probably about 50 sites that have not even left the building. We have a program, and I know it doesn't matter to what we say, but we have another separate system so that the minute they arrive at our RSS site, we have a program that runs that says Elvis is in the building. So once they enter that, then we know they're there. Now they haven't passed go yet because they still have to go through all that credibility, the certificates, the chain of custody. Once they transmit, then we thank them and away they go, get some rest.
Do you think you reached your goal of 150,000?
I would like to think that. I think it was fairly close, but again, I've been back in the tab room, so I haven't seen what the one system tells us. Right now, we're working on the actual voter system. We're working on accumulating the votes. So I'm sorry, I have not paid attention to what our voter registration side says now.
Can you explain the difference between at the 715 update, I believe it was at 146 or over 146,000 for the day, and now we're reporting 37,000? Can you kind of just explain the difference between the numbers we got before we got in here?
Sure, because again, like we talked about, we knew how many people we had on this side that told us how many people were there. But when we see the votes go in, remember again, we have different placeholders. We have the voters who vote in person, we have the voters who vote curbside, and we also have another list of voters where they're bringing everything together. And then everything else that's going on in here today is our ballot board, the early ballot board, which is a group of political appointees. They are the ones that are in charge of opening and accepting the mail ballots. So that has been continuing all day. They have worked and worked. So that number is changing. It really is. It's a flexible living document. So we watch those numbers. So we ask you to bear with us. And in fact, they're still working.
So I'm confused. How many total people have voted? And do I have it right that you think you might be counting well into the new day tomorrow?
Yes, I'm sorry to say. But when we have large elections, whether it's the governor or the presidential, those are the big elections in those even numbered Novembers. And again, the judges are going to have a lot of time to put in to clear their sites before they drive in. And then they go through our gauntlet of sites for them, all of our checks and balances. So I hate to say it, but I think it will probably be after midnight. That's always my disappointment. I want the final report to have today's date on it. So we're hoping.
And you didn't say how many people had cast ballots today. Do you have a clear idea?
As of right now, with 82 of the sites in, our total is 646,229. That means we had our over 500,000 early, 32,000 mail, and in these 82 sites, we have had 37,224. And that is pretty much what we think and how we figure this out, because remember I'm sorry, you heard me say that we had sites that didn't have massive numbers. And so they were the sites that were able to close down and come in. So you're seeing our lower attended sites that are coming in. So that's why we're sitting right now about 37. But as I'm out here, they're coming in all the time.
Just to
And that total
clarify,
figure, is that a record or is it not?
Not yet. Not yet.
How
Close.
far is it from the record?
You're catching me off guard. I forget now. My mind's working for so many numbers. But we gave you the you're matching it against 2022. 2021, with COVID, we had a 44% turnout. Then we had the 2022, and that was a 58% turnout. And right now we're sitting at 50% turnout. So again, we know that's going to go up. Is it going to get as high as 58, 59? We don't know yet. Okay, that's coming in minute by minute. So stick with us.
So that
You've done a
58
great job.
That 58% was a tentative number.
Yes,
Got it.
as we say, that's what our crystal ball aimed for. And as I said earlier on, I mean, we planned for 900,000 people to vote. We had ballots, the machines, the equipment, the judges. We were planning, we ordered 660,000 early voting ballots. And we ordered 275,000 for election day because they have to be separate. So I think we'll have some ballots that we have to store.
So going off those tentative numbers from 715-ish at over 146,000, what are we looking at 9:30 with those tentative numbers?
When did I come out with this one? This was 934.
And so, but that 37,000 is calculating the sites closed.
Yes.
The 146 was what we had seen in turnout.
Right,
So it's
from
gonna
those sites. You know, like one site had 116 people vote. That's in this number. Another site had 300 people vote. That's in this number. But the sites that did their 1,400, 1,500, they are not included in this yet because it's taking them much longer to we use the term harvest the votes, where they have to get it so that it goes on the USBs. We also get the USBs and we get a backup from them. And those election officials have to take all this down, and we take the results that they have at the polls, and we have another layer of security in it. Each of our sites has a purple bag. We didn't make it red, we didn't make it blue, it's purple. And they must put those USBs with all the votes on them in this purple bag, and it must be sealed with a numbered seal. So again, when it's being transported, we have everything locked up as close as we can. So I think you could probably go back and see some cars pulling up outside. I don't know if you've been out there yet, but this is one of the major sites to bring it here. Good job, people, please.
And one other thing, are you starting to count the election day results as well? Because obviously on the website it's a lot of the early voter
Right,
results.
but our website, this will be our second election day when posted.
Okay.
They're trying to post it. First we said like 10%, and then so we put, I think we put the first one at 27 sites, and now we've jumped to 82. I think that's what I'm remembering correctly. Is it? Okay, thank you. And now
82 sites
we'll see what the next one is. Yeah. And as I told you all before, when we're in our sealed tab room, there is no outside connection. There's nothing. And not that it's silly, but we're in there, the results are coming in. But for us to put them out on our site, the web, we have to get those results out of the election system, put them on a jump drive. I keep calling them jumpies, but the jump drive. And then we have to take it out of our tab room and then take it to one of, that's all I have a staff member doing. He has to take it out to one of our regular office computers. And then we have to send it across the county to BCIT, the IT department. because we are not masters of our own website. It has to go through them. So again, somebody's over there, they're waiting for us. So when they get it, then and only then does it get posted. Okay, so again, it's not just as easy as hit that button.
Jackie, who's in the tab room?
Pardon me?
Who's in the tab room? Is it election volunteers? Is it staff?
That's a great question, okay? Anytime we're dealing with, we call them live ballots, live results. Again, with my staff, there's 6 of us. Out of my 24 employees, there's only 6 of us that can get into that tab room. It has different security on it. And when we are harvesting ballots, number 1, we must have, and we do have, sheriff deputies in there with us. Number 2, there's called a central counting station judge, and the Republicans volunteer. We have a Democratic judge, and we have a Republican judge. So we have an even number of people that are in that room, and they sort of get first dibs on the reports. But they cannot use their cell phones in our tab room. Like I said, there's no connecting. So if they want to tell anybody anything, they have to go out in the hall because they can't use any of that. But then we also have, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there's like 8 poll watchers because they're in here. They presented their certificates for poll watching to the presiding judge. Linda Alanis is doing a great job. So it gets a little bit crowded in there, but those are the people that are the only ones who are permitted in there by law. So once our site here clears out, I know you all be welcome to look through the window, and you'll see those people. Okay?
And so I'm clear, you haven't tabulated any votes cast today so far. They're not out on the website.
Yes, they've been out. We did the 27, and now we've done 82 sites. So if you go on our website, you're going to see a report like this
Yeah.
that lists all of the votes that each of the candidates have gotten from the 82 sites.
Okay.
Okay? We'll keep updating you.
Thank you.
Thank you.